become best friends?
Yup.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
Big part of friendship.
I like you. Do you like me?
I do like you.
You are my friend.
You're a nice young man, and I am your friend.
Shut up, Pete. We're not friends now. I don't need you anymore.
You're my best friend.
Friend requests.
The friend request?
Why you ain't accept my friend request, bro? But you don't want to be my friend.
Welcome to the friend request. It's your host, Chloe Maddren. It's great to be here, guys. Back on home territory. We've got the fort set up and it looks good. It looks great. We're back home, all right? It's good to be here. Guys, today's episode is awesome. I think you're going to love it. I also would like to let you know this episode, when it comes out, will be, tonight is my first show at the Sydney Comedy Festival. The show's called Hot Girl Stuff, Disordered Eating and Crippling Self-Hate. If you haven't heard me banging on about it, you probably haven't been listening to the podcast, in which case go back to the start, guys. There's so many good episodes. It's crazy. But come see me live on May 2nd, 4th and 5th at the Factory Theatre in Sydney. Otherwise, you can see me live in Brisbane soon and Newcastle soon. I'll be announcing those dates very soon. Brisbane is, I want to say May 19th. I'll double check that. I'll let you know. But all the tickets are at the link in my bio on Instagram and TikTok. They'll also be in the show notes. You can just click through. I'd love to see you there. It's such a fun show. I've done it now like 10 times and I love it so much. It's been very well received. It's like punchy. It's funny. It's really great. Something else that's also really great is today's episode. It's actually, guys, it's so long. I could not stop talking to today's guest. I love her so much. It's only like the third time we'd met and we just get along like a house on fire. It's crazy. I don't know. I think we're quietly best friends now. I did say this to her, so I'm not being a psycho. All right. Anyway, without further ado, you're going to have such a fun time. Also, go check out this wonderful guests show at the Sydney Comedy Festival. You're going to want to see it. I'm going to be there one night. Maybe hit me up. Maybe we'll go together. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like maybe that's crazy to say on a podcast. Anyway, I said without further ado and then I gave more ado. Please enjoy today's episode with the wonderful, hilarious, crazily talented Jen Fricker. How have you been today?
Good. Are we recording?
We're recording
Oh,
now.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've been good. Man, yesterday I was raw as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up, I'd had a dream that my childhood dog had visited me in.
Oh.
Like, you know those dreams where you're like, I'm sure, like, it wasn't even the dog looked the same, but it's just, you know,
feel
that,
'em.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, I woke up just bawling my eyes out. And then I had to watch Encanto for my friend's podcast.
Okay, had to.
That
sucks.
I know, work. And that's like, I'd never seen it before, but
Oh my
that's also like
God.
raw as hell.
Yeah.
So I feel like very calm today. How are you?
Good. That sounds cathartic.
It was very cathartic.
Oh, that's so great. I have been raw for like a few weeks, months. I don't know.
Yeah.
This week's been a lot. But I think I had like one good day when I got paid from the festival run.
Oh.
And that day was awesome.
That's so
It
good.
was so nice. I went shopping. That was after I'd had a migraine. I spoke to you. We were meant to record. I'd had a migraine from the night into the morning. I was feeling better, but it was still like soft. And then I
Yeah.
got paid and I was like, I'll just go get some expensive things. I'll just go get a new hair
I have
straightener.
to be brave and buy myself something nice.
It was so nice. I was just being so gentle with myself all day. And then it was back to being like a raging bitch.
Love.
Yeah.
And we need that too. That's the yin and the yang.
Well, it's so annoying. I've been genuinely quite insecure lately. And my boyfriend's like, especially when it comes to gigging and being around like more industry people because of the festival and all of that.
Festival's so bad for that.
Yeah.
Like in terms of you get so in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And this is your first one, right? Your first, yeah.
And I've been loving it. I know I'm lucky. I've had a great time. You know, it's been awesome. But there are little things, you know, someone books you for a thing and then they give you less time because you're not as important as the other people, and like all of these little things that kind of chip away at you.
Yep.
And I'm like being a bit more transparent about that, and Jacob's like, don't let them see, don't let them know.
I don't know. I think like every person I've spoken to from Sydney, from our
Yeah.
Sydney comic friends, I feel like everyone's been a bit rocked by their festival experience. Even like the people who've had a good time.
Yeah.
Because it was a hard one. Some years are hard. Like my first solo show I did in 2011.
Yeah, wow.
Like ancient. And like I have been thinking about that a lot because it's like I think as comedians, we think of our path as always like I have to grow year on year on year. I've got to get better, and bigger and more and da-da-da. But it's like if we actually thought of ourselves as more like athletes where it's seasonal, like sometimes you just have a bad season. Or like sometimes like you get injured or something happens, you have personal issues and you're not going to play at the elite level. And it doesn't actually take anything from you or what you possess inside. It's just like sometimes it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And like I feel like my one piece of wisdom, I feel ancient, but I don't think like but I do feel like, you know, the one piece of wisdom is that like, yeah, sometimes it's just bad. Yeah. And like it's like no intellectualizing it. There's no need to. Like
yeah, totally.
You can just sometimes let it be what it is.
It's hard. It's hard because like it feels like it's not even festival stuff. Or like for me, I mean, there's the internet thing. There's just being a person who's public on the internet, and that's always going to be
horrendous,
difficult, awful time.
I love that. That's the main way we connect with people.
Isn't
now.
it wonderful?
Yeah.
It's
oh
so
my god!
important.
I had put up a TikTok yesterday, and it was like just a repost of an old one.
Yeah.
I was like, I think this was funny and cute.
Yeah.
And I was like, didn't do huge numbers. I don't do huge numbers on TikTok, but I just post because I'm like,
it's impossible.
I'm trying to be more like, just put it out.
Yeah,
Who gives a fuck,
totally,
right?
totally. Oh my god.
What's it doing if it's not being put out?
Yeah.
And like two of the comments were really positive. One was like another excruciating watch. I was just like,
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
hell.
That's what I'm talking about. It's that, and it's these like, you know, middlemen who for some reason are in charge of way too much and like can make or break how much money you make and all of these sorts of things. Like it's all of those little bits of this wonderful, beautiful job that,
gorgeous industry we're part of.
I mean, it's a fun fucking thing to do. Like I feel very lucky to do it, but it's all these little things. I'm like, oh man, this will drive you crazy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's so funny too, because like I really had a realization last year. I'd been working with a few like older comics who I would say are very like objectively successful, like the peak of the peak in this country. And they all still think of themselves as like underdog boys from the country. And I'm just like, man, like you're probably the last generation that'll ever be able to buy a house from comedy.
Yeah.
And you guys are still like, I've got to prove to all my haters that like I can do it. And I'm just like doing it for the underdog. And so when I like saw that, I was like, okay, so that never changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's upsetting.
It's upsetting, but I also think, I don't know, then it made me give less of a fuck too.
That's true.
And like it made me think that anything bad that happens is less career defining.
Yeah.
Or if one person says no to me, like that'll be it forever, or that's how people will perceive me forever.
Yeah.
Like I got, oh my god, I'm gonna tell you, I haven't talked to anyone about this. This is so cringe too. But basically, I got asked to host this like Challenges movie press junket.
Okay.
And it was like Zendaya, the stars are going to be there. Like Zendaya's going to be there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And like they had asked me and they're like, would you be interested? I'm like, yes, absolutely. This is a few months before. And then I just heard nothing for months. And it was just me being like, hey guys, like,
Yep.
send me the details. Da, da, da. And it was like right before I was meant to go down to Melbourne. And then I saw like the press release go out, the press announcement to be like, the press junket's going to be at the Hyde Park, da 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 da, whatever. And I didn't see my name on it. I didn't see any name on it. And I still hadn't heard from the studio. Yeah. And then I was like, it's not comedy, I guess, but it's just like being a person in this industry.
No, completely. It's all, yeah.
I like emailed them and I'm like, hey guys, like saw the notice went out, like what's going on?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, sorry, we've gone in a different direction.
Fuck.
And it was like I had built it up so much in head.
You had.
And
of
like,
course.
I'd booked a fucking hair and makeup artist. Like I was like, I'm gonna be next to Zendaya, so make me look really pretty.
Yeah.
Like and I was
Hell.
like so embarrassed that I ever thought I could do that. And it was right before Melbourne
So
too.
unfair.
And I was like, oh God, like I'm a fucking loser. I'm irrelevant. Da 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 da.
Oh my God.
But then I'm also like, and then I left for Melbourne, I think the next day. And that was the energy I was carrying into it. And then I just had a sick time.
Yeah, good.
And I was like, okay, yeah, actually that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
And truly
yeah.
no one would know about it except me and the
Yeah.
PR and now the wonderful listeners of your podcast. But it was just like a thing where I was like, yeah, fuck. I went full meltdown,
100
calling people, being like, do you think I'm a fucking loser?
Oh my God. Oh my God. But that is honestly so, it is comforting to talk about this, to hear that, because it's like, I don't know, that's community. We all kind of feel this sort of shit, whether it's something huge or something even just small. It's very, very comforting. And it's also crazy. And I'm sure you know logically that it's crazy to think that you would be
Totally.
like, oh, I could never, when they asked you.
Well, totally. Like, that's the thing. Like, I talked to my friend who's a PR at a different company, and I
Yeah.
was like, am I being crazy? Or was that like they just basically ghosted me for, it was like months. And he was like, no, that's actually like a psycho thing to do. And I'm like, okay.
It's a psycho thing to do.
And like, that's the other thing is like, with this like entertainment industry, is like, there are true psychos
Yeah.
who actually care
Yeah.
absolutely nothing about your feelings, and trying to intellectualize that as well, or take that on, or take responsibility for it is like pointless.
It is, but it's nice to have someone vindicate you and tell you that you're not crazy.
Totally. And imagine like how stunning I would have looked in photos next to Zendaya. Like,
I know.
Anyway,
that's all
whatever.
right. That's all right.
It's all good.
It's not gonna happen.
and the person they got was like a proper journalist. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I get that it was like
Totally.
a different vibe.
Totally.
But like, don't let me tell people.
no, of course. Don't fucking
Don't
send
let
the
me book
email.
stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so uncool. It's like messaging someone being like, "Hey, you free tonight? I
Yeah.
might want to fuck you, but I might want to fuck someone else." Like that's
Yeah.
a crazy thing. You can't say
Or
that.
being like, I want to fuck you in 2 months on
Yeah.
this date,
Yeah.
at this location, and this time, so keep it free. And then seeing that they're dating someone else.
It's heart wrenching. Oh my God. Man, I really want to be kind of vague because it's so recent, but I had a gig the other day. My time was cut. And I like was going around to the other acts being like, this is a personal attack, right? Giving them all of the information. They're like, yeah, that is a personal attack. And I'm like, it's just because the person doesn't like me. It's literally that. I'll tell you off mic.
Yeah. Do you think? See, that's the thing. Sometimes I'm like, hey, guess what? You've met an enemy for life. I'm like, wow. I
like,
guess
well,
you're dead.
Guess
And
you're
then-
gonna watch me rise, and then
Yeah.
I will take you the
It's my
fuck
Joker
down,
fucking
dude.
origin story, unfortunately for you. But then sometimes I'm like, I've seen it, people's time get cut sometimes, and it's literally like the incompetence of someone running a gig.
Yeah.
And like, that's also their curse.
Look, I'll tell you the details
Yeah.
after.
Yeah. I feel like I probably know the details, maybe.
Yeah, you probably do.
But I don't know.
It's funny.
It's so hard because like everything is so personal.
I know.
But then not at all about
I
you
know.
either. And it's like,
I know.
what other industry is there like that? Where it's like everything is your name, everything is on you showing up and always performing at this level. And if you don't, like, but it's also like, but also sometimes the sound guy will go to the toilet during your set and your mic won't work.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and it's so like,
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
I'm
There
sorry
are so many
that happened
things.
though. That
No,
is
it's
really
okay.
shit.
I'm sorry that your thing happened as well. Like there's so many of these things, and
Yeah.
I think they're inevitable and they're constant.
Yeah. It is like death by 1,000 cuts sometimes.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, and then you have like a sick one and you're
Yeah.
like, God, I guess I am a survivor.
Oh, it's fine. I destroyed those 3 minutes. Don't you worry.
I crushed.
I heard the new Taylor Swift album. Okay. There's a lyric in that that's like, what if everything, what if everything wasn't about me, but what if it is? And what if they didn't do this to hurt me, but what if they did? And I was
Yes.
like, oh yes, because it is like, yeah, okay, give them the benefit of the doubt, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
they didn't try to, maybe they've got their own things on in their world going on, but maybe sometimes they're actually trying to fucking hurt you.
Yeah. And it's so fucking hard.
It's so hard.
It's so, I struggle with that
exhausting.
every day,
Yeah.
honestly. And like in friendships,
Yes.
in business stuff, where I'm like, I think because as well, if you've been through stuff, like for me, I really had an issue where I kept like dating very mentally ill men. And it was a thing where I was like, well, you know, I went through mental illness. I deal with mental illness. I should be the person I needed to this person.
That's
And
very
then-
big of you.
Totally. But I was like, because like if I can heal myself through like helping someone else heal, then maybe it was all worth it. And
Yeah.
maybe there was a point to it.
Yeah.
And then they would absolutely take the piss. And then my mental health would suffer for it.
Of course.
And now I realize there's like, you don't have to make meaning out of everything. That's the thing. I just feel like I'm always trying to intellectualize. I'm always trying to be like, well, it happened for a reason. It's like sometimes stuff just happens.
Yep.
Like I remember my therapist, I was like talking through one of these horrific relationships where it was just like at every point I was like, I don't understand why this guy did it, but I know he had like issues, you know, and he suffers. And she's like, sometimes people are just assholes. Like it's actually none of your business to try and figure out why. Like sometimes people are just fucking assholes. Yeah.
That's liberating.
Yeah, it really is to like take the responsibility of making someone else's actions make sense to you. To just be like, nah.
Yeah, that's not my shit, actually.
Yeah.
If they want to work that out, they can, but they probably won't.
Yeah. And that's also fine.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's something. I wish I could control people more, you know, as a control freak, as someone who once did dream of controlling the entire world.
Did you?
As a child.
Were you a
yes.
Sims girl? Did you play Sims growing up? Oh,
No.
that
Yeah.
surprises me.
Yeah, that would make sense. I liked a Habbo Hotel.
Oh, okay.
Was
I never
partial
have
to a Club
a
Penguin. Oh no.
never Club Penguin.
Okay, look, those were mostly for trying to sext with strangers who were almost certainly grown men. But,
Yeah. There's a bit of that on Neopets, I remember.
Yes, for sure.
I love being a girl. I love being a girl on the internet.
Being a honey little girl.
And they'd be like, what size bra are you? And you're like, a child's medium.
I've been getting this on Instagram sometimes. I get people that I don't think they're real accounts and they are presenting as a girl and they'll start with something like, oh my God, girl, where do you get your bras? Because I also have big boobs and I need to go shopping. And I'll be like, you're in a different country to me, so it's probably not going to be the same, but good luck, babe. And then they'll be like, okay, but what sizes do you get? Just because you look about the same as me. And I'm like, they'll fit you. Like, I want to, again, give them the benefit of the doubt in case it is a girlie who's just so dumb.
Yes. And honestly, sometimes women are dumb and we don't talk about it.
We
Sometimes
need
women
to
are
talk
cringe on the internet and we'll send you things and you're like, okay, I didn't know this actually happened to women.
I didn't know either. And it's not many, but they are out there.
Some girls are weird on the internet.
Yeah.
Not us.
Oh,
Perfect.
perfect. And always have been.
Always from the get-go.
Totally.
Never lessons. No lessons had to be learnt. No lessons had to be learnt
No, no, no.
publicly.
Oh, gosh, no.
Yeah. So with your interactions on the internet, what would you say the breakdown is of stuff that makes you feel blah and stuff that makes you feel yay?
Oh, well, the nice stuff doesn't make me feel anything. 'Cause
Yes.
I don't take it in.
Yes.
Yeah. There's plenty
It
of
means
it.
nothing anymore.
It's funny because what some people would consider a positive, like a compliment on anything appearance based, I still take as an attack.
It's yuck.
I hate it.
Don't comment on people's
Don't
appearances.
yeah, it's really easy. Just don't. I'm like, oh girl, you lost weight. I haven't. And what if I had? I'll put it back on. Fuck
Yeah,
off. Go
yeah.
away. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ah, it's so annoying. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly positive, and then the bad ones just stick out.
Yeah, they
What
stick
about
out.
for you?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It's like I used to work at Triple J. It used to be like the lunchtime radio host.
Super well aware, but thank you for the
Oh,
listeners
I
who
don't
don't
know.
know.
But
My dad said I told him I was having you on, and he's like, I'm a fan. Don't
Aw,
tell her.
that's nice.
It's very cute.
Yeah, but I just remember we had this thing called the Triple J text line, and it's so crazy because no other radio station, I would say in the world, ever has a direct line from the public to people making stuff.
It's crazy.
It's insane. And it's almost completely anonymized. Like their phone numbers are there, but you can't tell
know who they are
from anything,
Yeah.
right? And I just remember the first day I show up to Triple J to my dream job I'm like, I cannot believe I find it first full-time job I've ever
Yeah.
had, first office job I've ever had. This is my dream job. And the first text I got was someone sent through a picture of their dick in a vice, and they were like, this is what it's like listening to you. I'd been on the air for 3 minutes, and I was just like, wow. Yeah. And it has normalized a level of abuse in my life
Yeah.
that I'm like, I don't think that it's probably done something to me.
Yeah.
Like, people used to tell me to kill myself. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, man, this is just like Spotify with a bit of chat. Like, it's never been that deep. And people are like, on the flip side, some people are like, are you okay, Jen? I noticed that you've played a lot of sad songs and you haven't posted about your boyfriend recently. And it's like, what are you doing texting me that either?
That's also
That's
crazy.
psycho.
That's so crazy.
But it's just like, it just normalized something in me. And watching, just like, the internet is the same.
It's
where
so
it's like you're just
scary.
constantly trying to protect your tender little heart.
Yeah.
Like, all I feel like people are trying to do is make stuff, which
Yeah.
is like objectively a positive thing.
Yeah.
Art
Make
is
stuff for people to enjoy.
yeah. All art isn't for everyone.
No.
But the level of hostility, sometimes I'm like, I didn't kill your dog.
I
Like,
know. Are you okay?
yeah, you're
It's
projecting
crazy.
something onto me that's like crazy.
Oh God, I don't know anyone who's gone to work at Triple J who hasn't had a big adjustment period of dealing with it.
It's horrendous.
It's so bad
And the
for
thing
so
is,
many.
like, it doesn't need to be that way.
Nope.
But it is like built into, it's almost like, honestly, it's a thing where the management will say like, well, you wanted this. So, and you're like, I didn't want to be abused every day.
No.
I'm like, well, it's part of it. I don't think it is. I talk to
No.
other people at other radio stations.
Yeah.
They're not getting abused like this.
No, they should be filtered. They should. It's just ridiculous. I
Yeah.
do wonder about those sorts of things if it's, beneficial in a similar way that like if comments, messages, all of that for the algorithm, it does help boost it. I wonder if it's like, oh well, it's getting people interacting, they're getting more people listening.
Yeah.
They'll hope that they get read out or, any of that. Because I did a YouTube series thingy that blew up and was like viral and all this sort of shit, and it was the exact same mentality of like Steph Broadbridge, she did it, and
that one.
Fuck yeah. She's got a whole show about it. I think I might have her back on to talk about her show because I saw it the other day and I left almost crying and screaming but also laughing a lot. But it was so much of that, the abuse, and it was very obviously purposefully encouraged by the creator
because it's engagement.
Exactly.
Because you're getting millions of views and we can monetize
Exactly.
views.
And every single boy on there who did it at a point, most of them, not all of them, and definitely the guy who ran it would always be like, well, but you wanted this, but you got an audience and all of this. And I'm like, I wake up to rape threats.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a little girl.
Yeah. It's like also like every news organization in Australia, for the most part, you'll see on Facebook, like they have comments off or they have comments off on TikTok and whatever, because the law in Australia is like the publisher is responsible for everything that's published on their content, so comments, right? And yet no other fucking no other like content media creation company who like puts
Interesting.
people in front of like millions or whatever feels the need to moderate at all. And it's like, I think like legally at least, like even not just for the purpose of protecting their own creatives and protecting the industry and protecting like the longevity of careers.
It's so
just
stupid.
for like the sake of the law. Moderate your content. Like that's crazy to me.
Crazy.
And then on the flip side, it's like you moderate stuff. Like, because I've worked jobs in social media and you moderate stuff and then you see people be like, they're trying to silence me. It's like, well, you just told everyone to kill themselves. So I don't think we need that here.
Yeah. Also, freedom of speech isn't like you get to say whatever you want wherever you want. It's you get to say whatever you want at your house.
At your house.
You don't
And
get to
it's
come into my house and say
also,
it.
like, you can say it and I don't have to listen.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, but not like enforced listening. Anyway.
God.
I feel a kinship. Like we've only hung out once or twice before, but
I
like
know.
I really feel a kinship to you because I feel like I don't know, it's just like all these people coming through and I'm like I'm so inspired by everyone and then I see the same horrible things happen to people and I'm like, it's actually insane that nothing changes.
It's crazy. It's really difficult. I was talking to my dad about kind of all of this sort of stuff, everything we've been chatting about really, and you, the other day. And he was like, we were talking about industry people,
Yeah.
you know, and like the management side of things. And he was like, how about you get a girl? And I was like, there aren't any. Many. That'd be nice, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? I was like, fuck, that's
Yeah.
a big blind spot right there.
Well,
There could be some more girls. up
yeah. I used to have a female management team.
there. Yeah.
And I've got to say, and I think I just was unlucky in
Yeah.
that the misogyny was so entrenched. So entrenched.
Oh my
And it was
God.
just like, and I would see what they would do for male acts, and I would see what they would do for me. And I'm like, oh, because we're sisters, we're friendies, we're girlies. They would not
No.
treat me professionally.
No. Fucking hell.
You know, and that's
It's
just
too
a
ingrained.
specific
Of course,
team.
of course.
I don't think that's all women in
Yeah.
the industry. I think also it's like Gen X women too.
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
like they'll pull that fucking ladder up behind them.
I mean, and it does make sense. It's just, you know, us millennials, we've still got a lot of internalized misogyny. Of course, it's going to be worse for the generation above. Like, it's something that we're all getting rid of.
totally. But it's just like in the arts, it's so weird
Yeah.
because you're like, but like literally, you're so lucky to be here. So then why are you making it harder for other people who are lucky to be anyway?
It's crazy.
It's so hard. But then I've had like male managers, and that's been like, again, psychotic.
Yeah.
Really full on and damaging.
Yeah. God damn. All right.
So I'm just like self-managing at the
Okay.
moment, and
Yeah.
I truly believe it's like it is the vibe.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That's
if you know
great.
how to like pitch and like put yourself out there, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Because it's also like the industry's collapsing. Like
Yeah.
Just for Laughs just got cancelled.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
So what are we pitching to? What
Yeah.
gala are we gonna get on?
Yeah.
Like,
and in this
if the galas
country-
don't exist anymore, then why am I paying this person 20% of everything?
That's some great points.
Am I bitter? Am I old and bitter?
No,
I
not
don't
at
know.
all. No. You could be way more bitter.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know.
On the subject of kind of, I guess, freedom of speech, talking about things, I did take a note. I was thinking about how, you know, because it is a friendship podcast, I was thinking about how you're quite famously outspoken.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
I mean,
I don't think
is it
I'm
weird?
that outspoken.
I don't think that you just
I think I just
speak
talk about
your
stuff
mind.
that happens.
Also,
And people
your
are
job
like,
is
wow.
to talk.
Yeah.
You gotta have to talk about everything eventually.
Totally. I don't know.
I don't know.
Outspoken? What do you mean by famously outspoken?
I mean, I think it's something like, I think of you and I think that you're a feminist. And I think that just knowing that makes me think, yeah, she's outspoken, you know?
well, yeah.
Like,
I guess it is. Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
I guess it's like, I don't know. I've always just thought if everyone knows something, right? If everyone shares like a common truth and we all talk about it privately and to our own detriment, why not bring that to a public space?
Why not? Well,
Why not confront it? And it's not always worked out for me. Like, I've definitely talked about stuff and people are like, yeah, like, shut up, you crazy bitch. And I'm like, that's fine. But I just always feel like things are better. Like they say, like, light is the best disinfectant.
yeah.
And so I just
Yeah.
think, like, all the stuff I've talked about has been true. Like, all
Yeah.
of the stuff has happened. And I think for the most part, making people aware of fucked things, as uncomfortable as it is, and oftentimes it is really uncomfortable, and I've lost friends and stuff.
That's what I was going to ask about.
Yeah.
It is. People don't want to deal with it.
People don't want to deal with it, but it's also like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to live your life with integrity.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all you can do.
That's pretty great.
Like, I just want people to, like, I don't know, advocate for themselves.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
regretted speaking up.
Yeah.
Never.
That's
Even if
so
it's like
good.
I've lost friendships or I've lost opportunities, like, I've never ever regretted speaking up because, like, at least whatever needed to be acknowledged was acknowledged on some level. Even if it was like, we don't give a fuck and shut up.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. It's interesting though. I feel like as you know, just not just comedy, but the world around us has progressed. Some of the things that you could speak out about that are controversial, even though it's something as simple as, you know, respecting one's basic human rights or whatever. you could lose friends, you could lose opportunities. But then there seems to be this switch of like this what do you call it? I can't remember what the term is, but it's like when everyone's trying to seem like they're more on board than they are.
Virtue signaling.
Thank you. Virtue signaling. And like the glibness of people being like, yes, queen, speak about it. But then it's like nothing is
Well, it's also like
changing. Or you.
it's why people should be sus on like career feminists. Like people are
Yeah.
like, I've written a book and it's called Slay Girl Slay, and it's about how to be a feminist at the thing, and it costs $30, and you can buy it in Kmart, and I'm going on a tour and I'm selling merch and da 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 da, and it's like, it's literally perpetuating a content cycle rather than actually like trying to make the world better.
Yeah.
And I just am sus on people like that who are like, my art is just like being like, I saw this in the news.
Yeah.
And I think it's bad. Like,
Yeah.
like I remember when I got attacked at my job. For people who don't know, I was stalked by a man, and he broke into the studio at Triple J and like attacked me. And that was the most like horrific thing I've ever been through, and it was very, very public. Sorry, I just burped.
Burps are so welcome here in the
my
fort.
gosh. It was the most public thing I'd ever been through as well.
Yeah, fucking hell, that's a whole nother layer.
Yeah. And it became like, I remember like sitting in my GP's office because I had to go get a medical certificate because I had to take time off work, and seeing like a news story about me on the TV in the reception, and I was like, this is the most surreal thing that's ever happened to me and will ever happen. And I remember I opened Instagram and there was like some feminist page that was like, they do that thing where they're like, here, I fixed it for you. And it's like, they'll take headlines about like horrific things that have happened about women. And they'll be like, I've changed it so it actually says what it is. Like, because like the news headline was something like, radio presenter allegedly attacked by stalker.
Yeah, right.
And then they'll change it to like, I fixed it for you. And it was like, woman just trying to do her job, attacked in place by psychotic man. And it was like, I appreciate the sentiment, obviously. But as the person that happened to, that does nothing for me.
It's just another thing for you to see.
It's content you've created off my misery that you have now like put content about to like attract followers because it's a newsy thing. Yeah. And it's literally off the back of like the suffering of a woman. And it sucks that like there's a market for that. And it's like these people I would say would consider them feminists, but it's also like as a victim of that, imagine like I just was like, I cannot believe that this has been taken away from me. Yeah. This horrific thing has been taken away from me, and now it belongs to people who are trying to monetize content off the back of it. It was like the most grimmest episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
And it's just, but that's what I mean. It's just like these like career feminists. I'm like, I don't trust you. Yeah. I do not trust you at all.
No,
because you meet people who are actually doing stuff for women, and it's like literally fucking caseworkers who are fighting a fucking system that is against them. Yeah, it's like fucking actual doctors who like treat women's pain with respect. Yeah, that's where the actual work is, like the systemic dismantling, and it's uncomfortable and often unpaid. And I just don't believe someone like filling out the Enmore Theatre actually gives too much of a fuck. Like. That being said, come to my show. It's at the Enmore Theatre. It is not sold out.
But you'll be a good feminist if you go.
I did once have a guy come through. I didn't hear this directly, but an audience member came up. This was like, a few years ago at Melbourne Comedy Festival. And it was at the Greek Centre. I was doing a show at the Greek Centre. So in Melbourne, you've got to go up like in a lift to where the venues are. And this guy was in a lift with these two girls who were coming to my show. And he was like, oh, are you guys seeing Jen Fricker? Or, and they were like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I love women's comedy. And they're like, okay. And he just wanted them to know, like, he really supports women. It's like, yeah, because you bought a ticket. Like, you don't need to tell us. We are women.
Fucking hell.
Do you get that, like, slay girly crowd? Or what do you get? What's your crowd like?
Okay, so Melbourne was the first time really meeting them. It's interesting because there are, there's a few that are clearly have come from the online stuff. And a lot of them are just really, really sweet. I know that I actually surprisingly have a few dudes who are like homebodies or some who are even like homebound because they're unwell and stuff. And they came out and that was really nice. A few little weirdos. And the girls seem to be, they were pretty evenly split as well. Girls and guys, which I loved. Oh, I love that after hearing from a million male comics that I am only followed by men, you know?
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Because women are worthless.
Well, we're not funny.
Yeah.
We're just hot until we're not.
Yeah.
And
Until we're not.
that's-
And also having a women's audience, that's worthless.
Oh,
Unless you got
absolutely.
dudes laughing, it doesn't mean anything.
Even though like statistically women spend more money.
Exactly.
They're who you want.
Yeah.
The girls and the gays. But no, they I don't know, man. They were fucking awesome. There were a few like Slay Queen girls who were heckling, who were a bit annoying.
Woo girls.
Love you, girlies.
Yeah,
Love
thank
you.
you
They were
for
just a
coming.
bit drunk.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm shifting around so much as well.
You're fine. But for the most part, it was like Taylor Swift fan types, like girls who have eating disorders were coming out and they were letting me know, and like I don't know, it was really, really nice.
Do you feel like a responsibility to those girls? Like when they come to you after, like do they come up to you afterwards and
They
talk
were,
about
yeah. It was not a responsibility. I felt like fucking touched. I had chills. I was talking to a few of these girls who were like, I experienced that and thank you for making me laugh about it.
That's the best
I know.
feeling, isn't it?
I was like, I don't care how this festival goes. I'm so happy. I'll do it just for that. Like,
Yes.
oh my God. I was so happy. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't feel really responsible or anything. I was just like, cool. I love you.
Oh, that's so good.
I said, oh my God, I have chills. And she said, I have chills. And I'm like, ah.
That's so nice.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I really present as any kind of like faux feminism or anything like that. I think that my if you want to call it politics, I guess it is like social politics, come through very clearly, but in a very just like honest
Yeah,
way,
you don't
know?
need to,
I'm not
like,
pitching it
headline
as
it.
anything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I've got material about my life and what I think. You'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, if people showing up, they're probably pretty aligned already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Do you have many of the Slay girlies?
Yeah, I have a weird mix of
Yeah.
people because like I did so much like because I again like starting when I started, it was so bro-y and it was so like you got to get the guys on board and da da da.
Yeah,
And I would
right.
say like my early stuff's very like apolitical to the point of being like pick me like
Yes,
and
of course.
it's cringe to like look back on now.
We've all got some of that.
Yeah. On the flip side, like I really don't want people to come to my show being like, she's gonna speak truth to power.
Totally.
Because I don't think I do that.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And I would never want to position myself as that. But I do feel like for the majority, the people are the gays and the girls, which
Yeah.
is like all I've wanted my
Right.
whole life. And I feel like I've honestly had to like shed this like Triple J fan base
Yeah.
that kind
Yeah.
of followed me expecting me to be the same person.
Of course. It's
when,
too
like-
broad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also just not who I am on stage.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a very different thing.
And that's very understandable.
Yeah. But because it's like, yeah, that listenership was like majority men 20 to 25. So it's like they're not ready to hear about
No.
young mothers.
No, they're not. No. It's interesting trying to get rid of some. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's that gratitude as well to be like, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
But also sometimes stuff just changes.
Yeah.
This is the thing where I'm like, I just think unmitigated growth or trying to be everything to everyone is just going to like, well, unmitigated growth is cancer. It's literally cancer. It's going to like chew you up and
Yeah.
like consume you.
Yeah.
And I just feel like sometimes just being very intentional with who you're talking to, especially in an age where like social media or whatever, where it's like, I'm talking to this audience and then like 8 dudes from over here are like, well, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And that audience, and it's like, well, this was never meant for you.
Yes.
The art I liked growing up or the stuff I vibed with growing up was always very specific. Like I feel like that's what shaped my sensibilities
Of
as
course.
a person.
Of
was like stuff
course.
being like, this is a very specific thing. It's very very specific audience. So I feel like majority of my crowd is just like lovely
That's great.
lovely, like mentally ill people.
Yeah.
Bisexuals and their boyfriends, you know? It's really nice.
Oh, that's beautiful. I can't wait to see the show. It sounds like it's made for me. It's so interesting just watching people get so mad about like consuming stuff that isn't made for them, and the Taylor Swift recent album has been getting me very fired up. Are you a Taylor Swift fan?
Yes, I am I wouldn't go full Swiftie. I really like her stuff. Yeah. And I appreciate what she's done. I would say the new album's not for me. You're not going to hear me on these fucking streets screaming about it. Like, I listened to the album and I was like, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
I kind of vibe with like more folklore.
Yeah.
I vibe with Evermore. Those are probably my two favorites. I love what she did with 1989. I love like Red. I think Red's probably my favorite
Red's
album.
awesome.
Because it's like still kind of country, but it's like she's
It's-
getting to more like stadium rock pop. Anyway,
Totally.
like the title track is like, I think such a good.
It's so good.
Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? Not every album by every artist is for me.
No.
It's for them.
Oh,
They make it.
And this one, I think, more than anything, is for her.
Yeah.
It really gives that vibe. Like, I don't know, talking to Jacob a lot about it. I am a big fan, but a newer fan, only since Folklore, really.
Yeah.
And then I like went into older stuff, but I just love Folklore. But it feels, everyone's like, oh, why can't she edit? Like, there's so many songs, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, this feels very much like she just wanted to say these things.
Yeah.
Like, and
why
that's
not?
fucking awesome. Why not? When
That's
you are
also-
the most popular.
People forget as
whatever you
well.
want.
Like, I remember my dad, when I was growing up, I was like getting into classic rock, like, because I was, you know, going through my dad's vinyl collection and stuff, and I was trying to learn more about like, I was like really into like punk and stuff like that. And so like, I really wanted to be like Debbie Harry when I grew up.
I mean, why not?
And I remember like Led Zeppelin was like, there was a song by Led Zeppelin, the Immigrant Song I just heard by Led Zeppelin. And I was like, Dad, do you have any Led Zeppelin albums? Like, they're so cool. And he was like, ugh, no, yuck. And I'm like,
my God.
why? And he was like, because he was buying vinyls. He was like, they were the only fucking band that would make you listen to 3 fucking vinyls. So you had to buy, their albums cost 3 times as much as everyone else. And he's like, and not every song was a fucking banger. And you couldn't shuffle through or forward through because it was on vinyl. And he's like, yeah, so I just didn't buy their albums because I didn't want to fucking listen to all of that. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
That's so interesting.
Right?
I am now going to judge Led Zeppelin fans harshly and think that they come from money.
But no one goes, oh, Led Zeppelin's so indulgent. They go, oh my God, Led Zeppelin, iconic.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't want to spoil it because this episode will be out on Thursday. I should have done it by then, but I was thinking, I'm like, I'm going to make some TikToks and it's going to be me being the guy, except I'm a girl, and I'm going to be like this male artist. I'm going to decipher their lyrics and make fun of them and all of this. And it's like absolutely just for me because this is enraging me.
Yeah.
But it's insane. It's like these people have never heard music before. It's crazy that how dare she talk about her boyfriend?
Yeah.
Have you heard music? And then, oh, how dare she then make up a fictional story? You didn't like the other option.
It's also like, have you ever heard of Metaphor? Like, also like it just reminds me of, you know, Leonard Cohen or Bob Dylan, like very famous, celebrated lyricists. Some of those albums suck so much. Yeah. Some Leonard Cohen lyrics or albums of lyrics or poetry that he's written is inscrutable.
It's
and
terrible.
absolutely not for anyone else but his own. And that's fine.
It's
no
fine.
one's like being like, fuck Leonard Cohen, Leonard edit, because he's dead. But also because like they're revered in a certain way. I also think like I'm so intrigued by the idea of like male genius versus female genius. And like because like this is gonna sound so on myself. I've been called a genius like a few times in my career.
That's incredible.
By reviewers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think this is in any way this is the dumbest fucking thing I could possibly do. But I think what it is, it's usually male reviewers, and it's usually like they're being like, she's actually funny. Like I think that's what it is. It's a bit thoughtful. Like, and it's like no one I think in my immediate life would ever call me a genius. But then also I'm like, why not? Why not just call myself a fucking genius? Because again, I've like met men in my real life who believe they are geniuses.
Yeah.
Or have had that affirmation from early
too.
on that they are geniuses.
Yep.
And like, to me, the work is not genius, but like they get supported and celebrated in a different way. Is that really fucked up to say?
No, not
out
at all. That's
loud?
really interesting. It's
Like,
very interesting and a
just-
great point.
Yeah. But I also think it's because the times when I've been called it was like I was trying to do more. I was trying to chase that male laugh.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when men laugh, they're like, oh, and they look around
Yeah.
like, oh,
yeah.
interesting.
God, it is a funny thing with comedy as well. Like I do, I adore so many peers. There are so many talented people, especially in this gorgeous city. There are so many, but it is outrageous the sycophants, the way people respond to a headliner coming and doing a spot at Kinsella's, like blown away. He's a fucking genius, and I'm like. I mean, it's maybe one girl they'll say that about, maybe two.
Yeah.
But it's just these guys. And I'm like, it's fine. But it is just commonly known and understood that they're a fucking genius.
Yeah.
So I think you've
there's
got a
like a
great point here.
reverence to it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, it's meaningless.
Yes.
Like, review.
Yes.
Like, I've realized I put on my review, on my post this year, like my wiki feet rating.
I did see that. Yes.
Because I was like, all of these pull quotes are truly meaningless and just for the performer. No audiences. I mean, if you are really that swayed by a poster, by a quote on a poster, then you don't actually like comedy. Then you're not seeing comedy regularly enough to know anything.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
The
Do I
reviews
have
are
that
crazy.
genius on my fucking media kit? Absolutely.
As you should.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the same reviewer came the next year and hated my show.
Oh my
So,
God, really?
Yeah.
Oh
because it
my
doesn't
God.
mean anything. Yeah.
Fucking hell. But also, like, probably comparing it to the last one. And,
Yeah.
and when, especially when there's time in between anything, I've been talking about this, about Sex in the City. People lose their
Oh my God,
minds.
tell me about Sex and the City. Tell me what you think about Sex and the City.
Everyone's freaked out about the reboot, being like, it's so much worse. I watched the old stuff for the first time, and then immediately the movies, and then the new one.
Yeah.
It's very tonally similar.
Yeah,
It's
I would
really
say so. And it
similar.
also grows with the creator as well.
Completely.
The creator, Darren King's like not in his early 30s anymore.
Totally.
So is this the work of someone in their fucking 60s? Yeah, absolutely. It's going to hit differently.
Yeah, and it's kind of meant to cater to that original crowd as well, who
Yeah.
are also older.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, people? But the way that any time between something that someone loves and then like a new thing coming out, which I think is why Taylor Swift has gotten a lot of stuff as well over the years. I mean, she's a woman, it's how much power and money she has, it's all of these factors. But you
Yeah.
see this with a lot of old school Swifties. They turn because it's like, I loved you and you did a thing here and it's been time now and now you're doing something different. And that could happen with your show. It's a year and they've built it up in their head. They're like, she's a genius.
It's also every year you have to do something different.
You have to do
what
something
would be
different.
the point of doing the same thing?
I mean, you can't. And then you would just get scrutinized for that if you did do anything close to the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah. And that's just like, it's just like truly not absolutely everything to do with you and nothing to do with you at the same time. It's such a fucked concept to hold.
Yeah.
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 It's nothing to do with me. Review. And also again, like I've had reviewers come in and be like, everyone else was laughing, but I hated it. And it's like, cool. Like objectively, it seems like it was a good show.
Yeah.
But you've hated it. So you're going to rate me XYZ and put it in the paper.
Fucking reviewers, man.
So it's like, so what is the real review? Is it, do you take the who was in the room enjoying it, or do you take the person who isn't engaging with the work the same way that the people who it was intended for were engaging with it? I don't know. I'm like not in a rush to defend Taylor Swift because like you said, she has like a lot of power. She has a lot of, you know, but I am like, it is funny, like that genius seems to be such a like, easily handed out title to people.
Oh, totally.
To men. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And vindictive cunt. I
Yeah.
can't speak. Very easily handed out as well.
Very, yeah.
To
or
women.
difficult. Very difficult.
Difficult.
Outspoken. Yeah.
Outspoken.
Yeah.
We have not been talking about friendship that much.
Oh my God, sorry.
No,
I feel
well,
like
don't
I
be
came
sorry.
in
This
with
is
such an
absolutely
intense
me.
energy. But again, it was the dead dog thing, and I'm so sorry.
Don't
Such
be
a weird way to start a pod. But I just am
No.
like, that's where it's at.
Not at all weird. Not at all.
I'm being authentic.
I've been in a space. We're both being authentic.
Yeah.
I've had a wonderful chat. I do think we've got to get into sleepover games.
Oh,
though,
please.
if that's all right with
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let me check. Yeah, it's time for sleepover games.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
All right. All right. Now, the first game is Would You Rather? You're a migraine girly. I learnt this. So would you rather a migraine once a week or never to be able to say puppy when you see a dog or anything of that vein?
I was in like a cutesy reaction, like, oh, baby.
Pointed out
Yeah.
anything.
Ooh, that is tough. At first I was like, oh, obviously puppy. But like the joy of seeing like a cutie little animal
You can't react
or
to them.
object, I can't. And I'm a reactor. Like when I'm on drives with my boyfriend and I'm like, look at the moon. And he's like, okay. And when he like doesn't respond, I'm like, excuse me, the moon is gorgeous.
Oh God, I feel
need
you.
you to like acknowledge we're sharing this gorgeous moment. I will say puppy just because migraine every week would
That's
be
pretty horrific.
I've gone through periods where it's been, and also
Yeah.
I get migraines like sometimes they last 3 days, and it's so debilitating.
It's
It's
impossible
unsexy as well.
to do it. Oh my
You
God,
cannot be
completely.
sexy.
It's
Do you
not
get
like
that thing where you get so sick that you start feeling like nauseous and you get like the
yeah.
like the burps?
Oh yeah, and
you
I'll
can't
fully
take
throw up. Like,
yeah, and you can't take painkillers because you'll throw up. Yeah, so I'd go. Unfortunately, I'd go puppy.
That's fair.
Yeah, but that's a tough. That was
glad it
really
was so
tough.
tough.
Yeah.
I did find a really good migraine medicine last time though that actually seemed to work.
Drop
I'll
it,
let you know.
girl.
I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
I'm
Is
not
it
gatekeeping this, I swear. I would never.
Yeah, I got prescription weed for it, but I don't think it does anything.
Yeah, I find that the weed helps with the nausea, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough.
My
And then you
housemate
just
used to give me Xannies.
Oh, nice.
Gorgeous. Like it was absolutely illegal, but she was a chronic pain girly too. So
Yep.
she was like, you just have to like find a way to survive through it
Yeah.
and wait for it to be over. She's like, yeah, may as well take one.
May as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how it gets. I can get some like opioids basically for my endometriosis. And I try not to have them around too much because the pain's bad, but I like
And they're yummy.
They're so yummy. They're so yummy. I want to eat them all the time.
Good. Yeah, I got prescribed endo once, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, I really get it. I
Gotta be
really
careful."
get it. They're really good."
Completely. It's so fun. But even that sometimes with a full blown migraine is not really helpful.
That's the worst when it just doesn't even touch the sides.
Yep.
And you're like, "Wow,
It's crazy.
this is my life."
It's crazy. I don't know. I still don't. I need to test the migraine pill again because the one that I got, it's so expensive as well.
Yeah.
So expensive.
Prescription?
No, behind the counter.
Oh, that's good.
But no prescription needed. So expensive though. And when I had it, I had done the ice had done so many different things all at once, and then it
Yeah.
started to fade 30 minutes later. So I was like, is it
Is it
everything?
the peel? Is it
the
the
p-
cumulative?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'll still let you know. 'cause
Let
it's
me
really
know,
good.
please.
It's really good. Okay. Also, while we haven't spoken a lot about friendship,
Mm-hmm.
I do think this episode is still very in theme because we're becoming best friends.
I think so. Yeah. I feel like we have shared trauma, which is,
I agree.
again, how I make most of my friends.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. I also do have that thing as well where I simply cannot be a casual acquaintance with someone.
Absolutely.
If I like you,
Oh my God.
unfortunately, we have no business but to be great friends. I cannot
Yeah.
be casual with
Absolutely. I mean, I said to you on the second time that we met the other day, I was like, you live how close to me?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah. So good.
Okay. Would you rather
Mm-hmm.
increase your intelligence by 50%, but never be able to record what you have to say? As in radio, podcasts, books,
Oh no.
comedy.
I'm having all these thoughts.
Yeah.
And no one will know about it.
And no one will
Oh
know
my
about
gosh.
it. Or decrease your intelligence by 50%.
Yeah.
And have to record every waking thought.
Oh, every
Waking thought is content.
Again, I was anti-intelligence when you first said. I was like, yeah, I don't need to be smarter. It's a curse. I would say to have any
100%.
consciousness. I would say in this world, but to be
So funny.
Like,
to
don't
have
you
any
think-
consciousness is a curse.
it's a curse. To be have any awareness. Yuck.
Agree.
I just want to be a single cell organism.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be nice? Just
to
floating.
thrive. I would love to be just a little. You know what I'd love to be? Jelly crystal.
Yep.
just a little jelly crystal.
That sounds perfect.
Someone adds some hot water, I become jelly, and I get slurped up. And then I'm in someone's belly. I'm jelly in the belly. Like, that's fine. If that was my whole life cycle.
Yeah.
No war, no famine,
Yeah.
no hatred, no
Wow.
cruelty, just jelly. Sorry, that's the most silly Billy thing I've ever said.
It's very cute.
Thank you.
I'm-
Sweetie pie. What was I saying? Honestly, I'll take the intelligence one.
Yeah.
Just because the idea of having to record every thought all the time sounds
lot.
very exhausting.
It's a lot.
I know people like that
Yeah.
who are like they have content for everything.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that I see everything as content, but
I
I
know.
do. But I'm very aware there are people I know that are like, they've got a radio show, they've got a podcast, they've got Twitter, they've got Instagram, they've got TikTok,
It's so
they've got
exhausting.
shows, and I'm like, actually would hate your life if I never had to do a podcast again. I don't know. It is actually the worst situation, but I think it
would be a
fine.
bummer. But if you're that much smarter, because you're already a very smart girl,
Oh,
then you'd be like, maybe you'd find some like contentment. That
I don't think so.
know.
I
don't
think you would
it comes
actually
with
hate
intelligence.
everything. I would think you would hate everything. If I was 50% smarter, I think you would just be aware of things
Yeah.
that you
There's
shouldn't
no-
be aware of, and
Yep.
too much responsibility with that intelligence.
Yeah.
I feel like it would drive me insane.
That's true. But I think the alternative could be potentially very dangerous.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's better for everyone.
Yeah.
For me to never speak again.
Okay. Yeah. No, fair enough. I'd go with the same one. Okay. We've got a fuck, marry, kill. Now, I did do some research. I already knew that you were like a music girly, but also did not realize you went to the con.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Classically
What the
trained
heck?
double bassist.
Very cool. I was like, well, I'm so impressed. So, fuck, marry, kill, music, comedy, and film.
Ooh, oh, that's so hard.
Yeah.
Kill comedy.
Yeah,
don't need it
fair.
anymore.
Fair.
Straight off the top, kill comedy.
Yep.
Marry. Who would be the better fuck out of film or music?
Oh, music. Are you kidding
Do
me?
you think so? I've rooted some
Music's
bad
sexy.
musicians.
Really?
Actually, unfortunately, I've rooted actors and they've been
worse.
wonderful.
Starfish. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Were they acting?
Because they're performing.
Yes. Oh my God.
Unfortunately, some of
Okay.
the most toxic, horrific.
They're worse than musicians. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like, I got cheated on by an actor once, and I told my friend Michael Hing, and he was like, yeah. He's an actor.
I mean-
He pretends to be other people for a living. Of course he cheated on you.
That is so funny.
So I'd marry music and I'd fuck film.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Cinema.
All right. I think I'd swap those two for me.
Yeah?
For me. Yeah.
You would
I'd fuck
film?
music
Oh,
and
fuck
marry
music.
film.
Yeah.
But that's only because I'm thinking of it more in like a watching movies and consuming music than a fucking musicians or fucking
Yeah,
marrying
fair call.
actors.
Consuming. I love films, so I would marry
I love
film.
films.
I would marry film.
I literally don't need to listen to music, which is terrible.
That's-
I'm also a musician.
honestly,
Like it's
yeah.
terrible.
Post Triple J, I stopped listening to new music altogether.
Yeah.
I just listened to stuff because like my job at Triple J was always to listen to new stuff, always
Yeah.
like be on the lookout for da da da.
Ugh,
Again, like
exhausting.
taking the thing you love, making it into content. I'm like, ugh. Now I'm like, I listen to like 4 songs, which is like whatever new Charlie XCX there is. That Sabrina Carpenter chick, love her. What else am I listening to at the moment? There's one song, that's probably something I've heard on TikTok or
Yep.
something, and then the new Casey Musgraves album.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's
so
just like
great.
4 songs on repeat.
Yeah.
It was like my whole Melbourne was like, I listened to 4
Oh,
songs.
I love that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I listened to my 5-song playlist before my gig, and that was it.
That's it. It's like the strut between the tram and the venue. And it's like, I need to feel like,
No, for sure. I definitely must have had something because I wouldn't have done podcasts. No, you're right. Music is important. Fuck. All right. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's all right.
that's really hard.
That's a tough one. It's okay. Luckily, I'm asking you, not me. Okay, this is hard. Fuck, marry, kill. Dudes who hate Taylor Swift. Dudes who say you're funny for a girl.
Ah!
And dudes who pit women against each other.
Yuck. All of these people deserve to die.
I agree. It's a trick question.
That's really hard. And
They're all the
also-
same guy.
And they are all the same guy, and I believe none of them would fuck good.
No, I completely agree.
And all of them would be insufferable in a marriage.
Yeah.
Damn, that's hard. You got me. Okay. I can tolerate people being like, you're funny for a girl.
Yep.
Again, sometimes women say that. Do
Yeah.
you get that after
Yeah.
a gig? Sometimes we're like, I don't like chicks usually on stage, but you were good. It's like, oh, that's sad for you.
sucks.
You're telling me so much about your life right now.
Sucks so hard. Oh my god.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay. So I would be in an unhappy marriage with guy who thinks you're funny for a girl. I would fuck, who was it? Taylor Swift.
Dudes who hate Taylor Swift.
And what was the other option?
Dudes who pit women against each other. It's one and the same.
It really is. Well, it's going to be miserable either way. So I'm just going to go, I'd fuck dude who hates Taylor Swift.
Yeah, fair.
Just because maybe they'll change their mind.
Maybe.
You know? Maybe I put folklore on. Maybe I'm like, ever heard of a fucking artist called Aaron Dessner? You wimpy piece of shit. Oh, you ever cried to fucking any of his songs? Then you like this album, bitch.
Yeah, idiot.
You fucking idiot. That haunting piano, you've heard it on every album you like, except for this one,
Yeah.
because it's just a different artist that is popular to hate. And then I'll kill men who pit women against
Yeah.
each other. Because that's honestly the biggest sufferings I've had at the hands of men who pit women against each other.
Yeah,
Always.
100%.
Always. And I remember like me and Becky Lucas started gigging around the same
Yeah,
time.
okay.
And everyone was like, you guys,
Jen
like,
or Becky.
yeah, like it's one or the
Oh.
other. And also she hates you and you hate her. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know. And Nina Oyama said this too. Like,
Yeah.
and we've all in recent years been like, oh, fuck. Like there was shitty dudes around us that
Yeah.
had nothing to do with us. Especially me and Nina. I'm like, we're quite good friends now. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's so sad we missed out on like 10 years of friendship
hell.
because dudes were like, oh, well, she's just trying to do what you're doing and like she's jealous of you and da da da. And like same with Becky and I, like
Yeah.
we had the same manager and we could have been like great friends. And
Yeah.
I feel like, and at that point there weren't that many women of our age in the industry. And I'm like, it's so sad. I
That's
feel very sad for
awful.
the friendships I could have had.
Yeah. God damn, that's so sad.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, don't,
Really
don't
starting
be sorry.
it, starting the pod
Don't be sorry.
and then ending the pod.
No, it's important, and it's
Yeah.
also, I don't know, it's nice to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. It's like one of the most sneaky forms of misogyny that's so people are so open about.
Yeah.
Like as simple as it's an Instagram that's got like this one or this one. This girl, this girl. Who wore it better?
Yeah.
All of this.
Because
all
it's
of
like we're like objects to be consumed. Except me, I'm a genius.
Oh,
But I,
Obviously.
no, but like it is the fucking crazy thing. And it's like interesting is why I'm working more in TV at the moment, and like there are certain things where it's like I watch the decision get made in the room, and it's like, well, she works in terms of like we have 5 spots on this show, so we need this type, this type, this type, and this type, and there's 2 girls and they're too similar, so we take that one because she's more.
That's crazy.
And it's like it is, and again, it's everything has nothing to do with you, but it's also so personal. And it's like I'm so messed up.
oh God.
But watching it in the room being like, oh yeah, that person's great, we love that girl, but
Yeah.
unfortunately there's another brunette on the panel, so we can't book 2 brunettes because visually it's not different enough. It's stuff like that. Same with like I used to want to be an actor, and like
annoying.
it was like I remember going to castings where every single girl looked exactly like me.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is the strangest thing.
Yeah.
You make yourself, you're so aware of the universe and how small you are in it.
Casting being online mostly these days is, I think, very good.
I think it's very good, but have you noticed that like the castings that come through now, they're like, there used to be you'd show up at a casting, you get 2 pages, and they're like, hey, memorize this 9-page monologue. And you're like, okay, cool.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that's
Crazy.
like, I guess it's my time. It's not theirs. So I'm really taking down all that. That's me being outspoken in the industry. That's me not holding any bars.
Oh God.
It's such a specific gripe, but I feel like
It's a very fair graph.
man, I just feel like they send you 3 scenes. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm recording. Like, I don't have time to
That's
learn
insane.
this.
It's insane. I have only started doing a couple of auditions lately, and I tried my butt off to memorize a thing, and I got pretty close, and then I got there, and then they were like, you can use the sides if you want. And I was like, I read it less confidently.
Yes.
Because I was reading it and I had worked so
Yeah.
hard, and I don't know why I didn't just back myself to be like, no, it's okay, I've got it.
I've
Maybe
got
that would
it.
have been more impressive.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But
Yeah.
stressful. Very common, relatable things for the audience.
Show business. But that's also the thing, is like we just have to be everything always.
Yeah.
And you don't really get to talk about it with people because I feel like
Yeah.
it's such a individual thing.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And because it, like you know, Jacob, my boyfriend, meaning so well to tell me like, you know, oh, don't show them the insecurity, don't show them the fear and everything. And I'm like, but it's really nice to talk to especially other girls about all of this stuff because
Yeah.
you feel not alone or
I
crazy.
also feel sad for men that they can't.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I love the fact that if I'm having the shittiest day, I have my friend Claire, and I just know I can call her and we'll go for a walk
yeah,
and like chat about whatever. And it's like the most meaningful relationship in my life. And I can go sleep over at her house if I need to.
Yeah.
And like we just like I don't know. It's just to have
it's
like
so helpful.
gorgeous, loving like presence and like commonality with another woman. The best, and some of the healthiest relationships in my life. I feel so sad for men that they don't get that. That they've got to like, I saw this thing and it was like, you know how like they have those men's sheds?
Yes.
And it's like because men can't share facing each other, but they can share shoulder to shoulder while they're
Yeah.
both doing an activity.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so sad. I wish
It's really
like
sad.
I wish for them that they could feel the freedom to
Yeah.
like talk about their vulnerabilities.
Yeah, yeah, me too, so much. And I think it's going to get better, but I think it really starts at childhood,
Yeah.
and then it's just like
It's like
it'll change over time.
when you like see little boys and they're holding hands with other boys, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you like haven't had that condition,
Yeah,
that tenderness
exactly.
and sweetness conditioned out of
Exactly.
you. So gorgeous.
It's so much. It's just conditioning. It's fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
It's so crazy because they're born wanting to love each
exactly,
other.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's why one of the reasons why men who marry live longer,
Yeah.
because they get the girl to have those fucking discussions with and
Yeah.
have that emotional release with. It's crazy, interesting, fascinating. We've got one more game.
Ooh.
It's truth or dare.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, so you can pick truth or dare. If you don't want to do whatever it is, you're welcome to say the other one.
My only hesitation is with dare, do I have to get up? Do I have to get up from the position I'm in currently?
I mean, depends where your phone is.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away.
Let's go dare. Let's go
Dare?
dare. I think that
Okay.
my phone is over there, but that's okay. I can go get it.
It's a little crazy. I dare you to do a story post claiming you're quitting comedy to get back into double bass.
Interesting. Story post is so funny too. I'm scared of that one. I actually hate that.
Because you've got your show coming up,
Yeah.
that might be actually very...
So like, don't you feel like people would be gleeful? Do you think about? I don't know. I think about the group chats that I'm getting screenshotted.
Oh
and
my
putting
god!
into
Oh
all
my
the
god!
time.
I do
Re-
think about that, but I love
Especially
it.
the horrendous comedy ones. Like there are comedy
Yeah.
ones that I'm like, I've seen glimpses of.
That's
One time I
terrifying.
searched my name in one. Like my friend gave me access, and I was like, oh, I never want to know that people talking about me. Like
Oh my
this.
God.
Like people I know
Yeah.
are like making jokes about this stuff that I've posted earnestly.
Oh,
I
no,
should never have looked.
no one should know that.
The
But
burden of knowledge. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Let's get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hit my head against the wall
Let's
after
get it
this.
fucking
No, I don't want to know what anyone's saying about me, but I do want to know if they're saying anything about me because that makes me pretty happy.
Yeah, I had a real spiral where I was like, you know, when you see people who like look at your Instagram stories but don't interact with you.
Yeah.
And like I spiral sometimes, and then I'm like, literally, what is this doing? I have to like sit down and write on a piece of paper, like make something. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Just
Stop
fucking go
checking.
do anything. Literally contribute positively to the world. Stop fucking looking at this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wash a dish. Do
Wash
anything.
a dish. Wash a dish. Make your bed.
Yep.
Wash your face.
Jordan Peterson was right.
He was. Finally, we can say it. Okay, what's
All
the
right,
truth? What's the truth?
The truth is, I think this one's pretty juicy as well. Okay.
Okay.
What's a movie or album, musician, whatever, something that you had to positively review that you did not feel so positive about?
Interesting.
I only put this forward because I had a job like at a music magazine and did have to do reviews and
Yeah.
stuff. So I figure it probably came
I
about.
used to do like a corporate movie podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, and we were never ever allowed to.
Yeah.
Even so, some of the ones, if you listen, like the compliments are very like, I loved the score.
That's so funny. Just vague.
yeah. Oh, I loved how the costumes were lit.
Oh my God.
Like just like, and
my
it's
God.
you're trying to sound as technical as possible, but it's just like trying to get out of like.
They had a massive cast. There were
Yeah.
57 people in it.
Imagine catering, the catering, and good on them for catering this amount of people in a cast and crew.
The movie did go for an hour and 54 minutes.
Yeah.
That it did.
I actually remember so specifically, I was so bad at faking it too on Triple J. Like there were so
It's
many
hard.
interviews
Yeah.
with musicians, and I feel terrible because for most of them, I would say for 99% of them, like being interviewed on Triple J, sharing their music on Triple J was a huge deal, and like a
course.
culmination of years of work. So
Yeah.
like even if I didn't personally enjoy it,
Yeah.
I was never gonna be like, hey, idiot. Nice song you have there, dummy. And I always just saw it as my thing to be like, I've got to honor the effort of the artist by like giving them a good interview.
Wow, how kind.
That being said, some of the DJs, so I used to host a section called Friday Mix. I would say every single female DJ we came in had a set planned, like had like notes on what they wanted to talk about in
Yeah.
the music. So many DJs turned up late, didn't have fucking equipment. One of them I remember just hadn't showered and was still drunk from the night before.
Oh.
He was like a legendary UK. I don't even remember his fucking name,
Oh
but
my God.
it was like I was like, oh wow. And so I gave them the interview they deserved.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't fucking respect. Like
That's
I remember,
awesome.
yeah. Fuck, I can't remember. You know who it was?
Who?
Miami Horror.
Okay.
They came in and they were so fucking snide to me. And it was a pre-record. And they were just... And
Idiots.
to be fair, my first year on air doing DJ interviews, it wasn't like a world I was overly familiar with.
Yeah.
I became... Like, I learned more about it as I
Yeah.
went. But they... Again, like, being a girl too, like... People would talk down to me in a way that I was like, I'm sure I've heard your interviews with like Louis McCurdy, who used to host this show. You never talk to him like that.
Yeah.
Or like I'd see them be interviewed by Zane Lowe and I'd be like, you would never talk to them like that. And I remember my Miami Horror came in and they were so rude to me and really talked down to me. And it was pre-recorded. And there was a moment where I can't remember. They just like kind of snorted or something at
Yeah.
a question. Like
Yeah.
it was as if it was so below them to answer.
Fucking hell.
And I left it in. Like I just left
yes.
all of their fucking because I'm amazing at editing, right?
Yeah.
And so if it's like I'm good at
Yeah.
like making a conversation sound good. Like if I love what you're doing, I will cut the shit out of it. I will make it sound great. I'll cut every cough, every gasp,
Yeah.
whatever. It's gonna sound gorgeous and you're gonna sound like the most prepared, wonderful interview subject. If you were a piece of shit to me, I'm leaving in you like burping. I'm leaving in you coughing. I'm leaving in you snorting and like talking down to me, laughing at how ridiculous the question is. I'm leaving the bit in where the interview ends and I hit the play on the song.
Yeah.
And you start talking because you think it's off air.
Oh my God.
But I'm leaving that in because it's not off air. It's off air when I hit stop on the
Yeah.
record button. And I remember my friend texted me listening to the interview live and he's like, wow, these guys sound like cunts. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they do, don't they? That's weird.
That's crazy.
That's so weird.
I love that so much.
But man, sometimes like I remember listening to an interview with a guy who he's like kind of a known villain of the industry. And I had to interview him after the album interview. Like, so they do like the feature album chat. And he was talking about his ex-girlfriend who was a really good friend of mine and what a fucking cunt she was. And because it's just boys talking to each other. And he was like, can I say that like this album's inspired my bitch ex, and like just laughing, not realizing that like everyone in the station can hear this. And then when I got on and I was like, hey, so like it's probably going to be, I was listening to your interview and it's going to be like a lot of repeats of the same question, but this is the live to air interview, whereas that's all going to be cut for the feature package. And he was like, oh, you could hear that. I'm like, yep, yeah, I can hear it.
Awesome.
Because you don't fucking realize, even though you're a musician, you don't realize what recording software is, what a microphone does. Like, so crazy.
That's so stupid.
Do you ever have people come through? Because I feel like I love your podcast because like you have such a intimate tone of voice and approach to each subject. Like you're very like, you give people space to do what they do, but I feel like you're always bringing like a very tender, encouraging and like very close vibe. Does that make sense?
I think it's all the fort. It's not me.
It's the fun, it's the lighting, it's the fairy lights. But like, do you ever have people come through here you're like, well, this was wasted on you, frankly? You don't have to name names, obviously.
I've had a couple of people, one really, who was difficult to interview. And I was like,
they just didn't want to play along.
Yeah, but he's a lovely person. We get along, but it was just difficult to interview. And I've spoken with other people, and they're like, oh yeah, they're weird on podcasts.
Yeah,
so
and it is not like an easy forum sometimes for people.
No, it's not for everyone. Yeah, but for the most part, it's fine.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's great. Like, I mean, I get to choose who I have on, so that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I like everyone.
I used to find some comedians like so easy to interview, and then some comedians were so difficult.
Some are really hard.
Like,
some are really stuck in their shtick.
Yeah, and that makes sense because it's
Totally.
like sometimes comedians don't want to be like known beyond like as a real person.
Yes.
Have you ever tried to interview Sam Campbell?
No.
Like I like Sam, but like I know him like in real life. I'm like, we've like gigged together and traveled together and friends in real life. Putting him in a radio studio is a nightmare.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. We had a maybe plan to get him on while he was in Sydney, and he's just too busy. And I was talking to Jacob and I was like, I mean, honestly, it's fine. It would be nice to see him, but also
I feel like he might pop off in this environment. Though. I feel like maybe
could
this
have
would
a lot of
work
fun
for
with
him.
it.
Yeah.
But some people certainly are like, because this is such a earnest podcast, even though we've got so much room for riffing and joking, if that's what we want to do. And there have been episodes where it is like just constantly like that. Like you can't even get anything real out of them, and that's fine because it's still funny and entertaining.
Yeah.
But some people are just so deeply in their shtick that if I ask them anything about themselves where they could make a joke about it, they're just like shut down.
Totally. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
But like also sometimes that's amazing too.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still entertaining.
Yeah. Like I remember, I think we asked Sam Campbell what his favorite song was, and he just didn't have an answer because like the character of Sam Campbell probably doesn't have a favorite song, or it's like the song of like his dad's. Yeah. Like I don't know, whatever.
Something or like a song from an ad, a jingle.
Yeah.
Really
or one that he's written that he's recorded and he's going to play on the radio now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bit fun.
Is that too like namey?
No, not at all. No,
I mean, named Miami Horror, but I also think they're not around anymore. So
I think it's fine. I think, guys, listeners, if you know who Miami Horror is, especially the young ones, please comment below.
Please.
No, it's truth or dare. It's salacious. It's saucy. But that is the end of the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, of course.
This was so fun.
I'm so glad. It's been so great.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everyone about your show and where they can find you and all of that?
So you can find me at Jen Fricker on all socials. Some socials more than others. Let's be real. Instagram's my forum.
It's Instagram. It's where everyone is.
I'm on Instagram. I dabble at TikTok. It's so hard.
It's so annoying.
It's like... I love TikTok.
I
love watching it.
Totally.
People
don't
who
understand.
make it work, I'm like, good on you.
It's a beast.
Yeah, but I don't understand it or how I fit into it, and that's okay.
It's fine.
And that's my art. I'm doing shows at the Sydney Comedy Festival. Do I address the camera?
You can.
I'm doing shows at the Sydney Comedy Festival on the 16th to the 20th of May at the MO Theatre called Forever. And it's basically about me wanting to live forever and figuring out what my legacy is.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to see it. Holy moly. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you guys for listening. I love you all deeply. Goodbye.
Goodbye.